It's not your fault, but it is your problem. That statement is going to make you feel either one or two things. It's going to empower you or it's going to trigger you. It will trigger you because it gives you the responsibility of sorting your life out, or it will empower you because it gives you the responsibility of figuring out your life. And wherever you fall on the spectrum, you're not wrong. There's nothing worse or more demotivating than being confronted with a truth that you could be working harder, you could be trying harder, and no matter the circumstances that you fall under, your life is your responsibility. It's such a transition into getting into, say, adult pro max. Like, I like to look at adulting in stages, right? You're the iPhone 6, then you're the iPhone 6 Pro, then you're the iPhone 6 Pro Max. And I just look at adulting in that way. And when your life becomes your responsibility and you become more aware to that, it can really be scary to take your life by both hands. Welcome to Between the Feelsz, where the feels are friends, not our foes. I'm Stacey Maze. Let's have a yap. So let's explore the feels together. So whatever circumstances you're born into, whether they're positive or negative, your life is yours, your life is your responsibility. Those of us that fall on the side of being born into, say, dysfunctional or unfortunate circumstances, it can be really challenging to move forward with your life and empower yourself. Why am I out of breath, child? When you're born into certain circumstances that you feel are unfair or unfortunate, you will feel frustrated, you will feel victimized, you will feel afraid, you will feel bewildered. There are so many feels that are going on when you're trying to move forward, you're trying to change your life, and nothing seems to be working. But what if I told you that there's a reality that maybe things aren't working because you just need a change in perspective, or you need to look at your relationship with your circumstances. You could be born in an abusive household, dysfunctional household, economically, where you're placed in the world doesn't allow you to have access to opportunities, etc. Like, there are so many circumstances that are unfortunate, right? You are not your circumstances, and it's so easy to internalize our circumstances and start to identify ourselves as victims. No matter where we go in life, we carry that victimhood on our head. Being a victim can be really comfortable, especially when you start to see how people treat you and how people coddle you when you are a victim. You can become addicted to that comfort. You can become addicted to not being responsible for what has happened to you. So then you start to live your life very passively because you see it as, well, this isn't my fault, so why should I have to be the person that has to work so hard to get myself out of it? And I hear you. Like, I absolutely hear it. I don't disagree with the feeling. However, that can only carry you so far. And if you're someone that genuinely is trying to change, trying to heal, trying to do all of the things, there is a way that we need to take our power back. And the only way that you can do that is through self-reflection, is through going out there and speaking to other people that are going through a hard time, but also doing something about the hard time, rather than people that are just sitting down and are not ready to yet make that change. So let me give you an example. I have two younger brothers that have autism. They are nonverbal and they have learning disabilities. And as you can imagine, growing up under those circumstances was extremely difficult. We weren't a family that communicated about it. We just got on with it. And so everybody was suffering in silence. And I decided at the age of 15 that I was going to take care of my brothers whenever that time comes. Because if life goes according to plan, my parents will pass away first. And then obviously I am the next of kin, or my siblings are the next of kin. But I always felt burdened by that decision, right? Nobody told me to do it, but I just saw it as, well, of course, this is what I'm going to do. But the emotional turmoil that followed me after making that choice at 15 was really traumatizing, to be honest, because I didn't have time to process my upbringing, let alone making such a big decision at 15 years old. But something came over me. It's probably fairly recently, I want to say in the past 2 months. I asked myself, number one, is anybody asking you to take care of your brothers? No. But do you want to take care of your brothers? Yes. And with that yes, I had to ask myself, okay, so what are you willing to do in order to make sure that you can take care of them? And for me, I'm willing to die behind this. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm willing to die behind it. But being willing to die behind something and having a desire for something means that there is a cost that comes with that. And a lot of the time, when we place our desire somewhere, we assume that the path that we're on that leads us to our desires is going to be sweet. It's like, oh, I'm finally chasing my dreams. I'm not going to feel frustrated. I'm not going to feel upset. I'm not going to be annoyed. I'm not going to be challenged. That's just not true. No matter what path you're on in life, you're going to be met with resistance. You're going to be met with pushback. And it's always important to remind yourself that whatever decision you make, you are responsible for the outcome. You are responsible for how you handle yourself, your relationship with your emotions when you're on that path. And I think it can be really easy to give up on ourselves when we are forced into the decisions based off our circumstances, based off circumstances that aren't our fault. And for a long time, I felt very resentful about the circumstances that I was born into. It was nobody's fault. It wasn't my parents' fault. It wasn't my siblings' fault. It's not even my brother's fault. There was just a reality that I was very resentful about it because there was no resolve. And I felt, damn, I feel like my life hasn't even started yet, and I'm already left with this big responsibility. I had to be really real with myself and recognize that actually no one's left this responsibility to me, but it's something that I want to take. And that's just what it is. And there's nobody that I can blame. There's nobody that I can turn around and be like, you did this and you didn't do that. I just accepted it is what it is. This is what I want. And these are the challenges that I'm going to be met with on that path. And guys, I'm not going to lie to you, the maintenance to be a carer, it's not cheap. So money I have to make. Anyways, I say all of that to say, if you're striving for something and you're going after a goal, you're going after a dream, you have an ambition and you feel challenged by it, just because, say, the circumstances that led you to that desire wasn't your fault, it doesn't mean that you should give up and not be proactive about making your life better and taking the opportunity. And honestly speaking, if you're not ready to do that yet, that's also okay. But don't lie to yourself and tell yourself that you want change when you're not truly ready to commit to it yet, or you don't even truly understand why you want to change it. Maybe you still need some time to blow off steam about your circumstances. I hear it. It took me 12 years. It took me 12 years, up and down, up and down. Like it wasn't straight 12 years of, but of course there's the pain and there's the grief and there's just life. All the ebbs and flows are going to come with it. But I now know that it is my responsibility to do that. To make that happen because it's what I want. I just want to encourage you to take responsibility for your life, and taking responsibility for your life is boring. But in order to grow, in order to develop, in order to just expand your capacity to live, to receive, you have to take responsibility for what is impacting you and what you want to change. And if you're not ready to do that, as I said, it's okay. But many of us still need to feel the comfort of victimhood. Many of us still need to feel the comfort of being coddled because we lacked that a lot in our childhood or in our environment. And if you like that, then you like that, but be honest about it. You can't keep blaming the circumstance. You can't keep blaming the people around you when you do grow that awareness. So in order to help you figure this out, I will always leave you with a self-reflective question. I always find that self-reflection really improves your emotional intelligence, it improves your emotional capacity, it improves your relationship with yourself, and just your quality of life overall. But I got a question for you. What's a trait that someone I respect has that I don't? What would my life look like if I had it? How do you think the person you have in mind uses this trait to manage their emotions when dealing with difficult circumstances? So that was like a two-in-one question. This is a really good one. Where and how am I giving away my energy by expecting someone else to do the work I have the power to do? It literally just starts with sitting with yourself, being honest with yourself, asking yourself a couple of questions and doing that bit by bit, day by day. And you don't have to have all of the answers all at once. Sometimes it's just noticing how you feel when somebody asks you a question and taking note of that and acknowledging, oh, why do I feel this way in relation to the question? And then maybe that's where the path takes you. Sometimes the question itself is just an indicator for what it is that you really need to ask yourself, or what it is that you're yet to discover. So if you are somebody that feels like you have the capacity to change and you want to grow, then allow those questions to empower you, and allow that statement to elevate you and push you towards your responsibilities and building the life that you know that you deserve. And this is not to victim blame anybody, by the way. I want to make that abundantly clear. I am in no way, shape, or form victim blaming, but it's not your fault, but it is your problem to solve. If you're in a little bit of a pickle and you're feeling some type of way, feel free to send me a message at Between the Feelsz on TikTok and Instagram, and I'll be happy to support you in a future video. Okay, take care. Bye.